Hello everyone and welcome to a most interesting game from yesterday's Banter Blitz Cup. It's Alireza Firouzja versus German Grandmaster Georg Meier, and like I said, it's quite an interesting game for a few reasons which I will mention during the game. But without further ado, let's just check it out. So Alireza opens with c4 with the English opening, and Meier goes for b6. He wants the early fianchetto, the light square bishop. We have knight to c3, bishop to b7, knight to f3, and knight to f6. So just nice rapid development. We have g3, preparing to fianchetto the light square bishop, and now we reach a position where black has a variety of options. You can go c5, you can go d5, you can go e5, you can go e6, d6, well, really a lot of options here, but bishop captures on f3 is a move you don't usually see here, and this is what Meier goes for, and it does mess up white's pawn structure early on. However, he gives up the bishop pair also very early on. For a classical game, this would be a big no, but for a 3-minute blitz game, he gives it a try. So let's see how Firouzja deals with this surprise. He plays e captures on f3. We have c5 by black, grabbing hold of the d4 square. White pushes d4. Either way, you have to play it. If captures, then you get a nice early queen into the game. But first, knight to c6, putting more pressure and inviting Firouzja to go for d5 to grab more space in the center. And it's already as of move 6 that we have a completely new game, so very interesting stuff. So Firouzja does it. He goes for d5. We have knight to d4, and again, a very exciting moment. Firouzja doesn't go for bishop g2 and castles, rather he goes for bishop to h3. He doesn't want to let this knight, leave the d4 square alive, so to say. He wants to play bishop to e3, capture, and win a pawn this way. He doesn't want to allow the knight to escape via the f5 square. So Meier continues with g6. He wants to develop also fianchetto the dark square bishop. We have castles, bishop to g7, and now bishop to e3. Saying, next move, I'm going to capture your knight and win a pawn here. And there's not much black can do about it. For example, in the game, knight to h5 was played, but you don't really have a way of dealing with this. So knight to h5, now the bishop guards it. Firouzja not interested in creating some more kingside weaknesses by playing g4 and then capturing. First he plays bishop to g4, he prepares it, and now he says, okay, I'm either gonna mess up your pawn structure in front of the king, or you go back and I win a pawn. So here e6 is probably best to allow maybe captures, and then you can play queen c7, maybe castle queenside, and play that kind of a game. But instead, Meier goes back and he says, okay, you grab my pawn and I'm just gonna play it being down a pawn. So bishop captures, pawn captures, and queen captures. And like that, Firouzja is up a pawn, where black still has no good discoveries because of just queen captures and g7. So we have castles here, and now just bishop back to h3. Still, there are no useful discoveries here, so nothing to worry about. We have rook to c8. Both players continue development, rook a to c1, and now e6, challenging the center, but also creating the threat of knight captures, as now the pawn also guards the d5 square, so this would be a useful discovery. So Firouzja goes back, we have queen to d3, and now we have a trade in the center, captures, and now a5. Meier grabs more space on the queen side, and Firouzja goes knight to b5. He offers a rook trade, he wants to play d6 and knight to c7. Black cannot go d6 just yet, as the rook would hang. So here Meier goes for rook to c5. He puts more pressure on the d5 pawn here and basically forces a trade on c5. We have captures, and now he would like to play d6, but of course Firouzja doesn't allow it. He pushes d6 himself. We have rook to e8, getting the rook into the game, and now knight to c7. An excellent square for the knight, kicking the rook back, and also preparing queen b5, which will now come with an attack on both of these pawns here. So rook to e5, defending one of the pawns, but now first f4, you kick the rook away. We have rook to e4, and now queen to b5, with threats of capturing both pawns. So there's nothing to be done about that, but you can grab some material yourself. So rook to b4, and now comes queen captures on c5. We have rook captures on b2 and rook to e1, getting the final rook into the game. And now you could grab the pawn here, but you might be worried a little about some back rank issues. If the knight moves, you can't really start developing your pieces. So here h5. First, Meier makes an escape route for his king, but now it's Firouzja that grabs a pawn. Queen captures on a5, and now it's Firouzja who is up 2 pawns, not 1. And here Meier goes for queen to b8. He wants to go rook to b1, trade off the rooks, and he says, okay, with a lot of light square holes here in front of your king, I will maybe bring my knight to e4 or g4. Maybe I can bring my queen all the way down, and then maybe I can hold this even though I'm down 2 pawns. However, he misses a tactic here, so feel free to pause the video and try to find this very elusive tactic while I give you a couple of seconds. So for those of you who were able to do it, congratulations on spotting that it's actually the knight that's preventing the rook e8 move. So what do? You overload the knight. So congratulations to everyone who found that. And for those of you who just want to enjoy the show, it's bishop captures on d7. Now, of course, if knight captures, you no longer have control of e8. Rook e8 wins the queen. So after bishop captures on d7, bishop to f8 was played, saying, okay, no problem. Next, I'm going to capture your pawn here. But now this actually is a threat because this will not come with check. So Firouzja finds bishop to c6. Now, again, he gives up the d6 pawn, but he finds knight to e8, which is, again, very dangerous as the bishop covers this. So you cannot trade. If you trade, again, you just lose your queen here with check. So knight to g4, now with the threat of captures on f2, so it's already getting very dangerous for white as well. And here Firouzja can actually solve all of his problems by captures, and queen c3. It's sufficient to win the game, as you are now threatening to win the rook, but also you're threatening to checkmate the king, as the queen also covers this diagonal. So if you go for something like this, it's just a nice mate here, as you can see. So what you would have to do after this idea of knight g4, if you went for this captures, and queen c3, you would force black to go back, but then you go back yourself, and then slowly but surely the a pawn will have a final say in the matter. So after knight to g4, this would have been a good plan for Firouzja, but he decides to go for queen to c3 right away. And now comes queen to b4. Meier offers a queen trade, but he misses a very interesting tactic, so feel free to pause the video. I'm just kidding you, of course, you all see what's happening here. Here Firouzja played queen to g7, and it was mate in 1. So very, very exciting game and a very interesting finish to the game. They both had some 15 to 20 seconds on the clock, I believe, so it wasn't that severe, especially if you're you know, a bullet player here and there. But anyone can miss a mate in 1. So this is what happened, and I really enjoyed, especially the early knight bishop captures on f3. That was very exciting, as I really was interested to see how he will deal with this, and really Firouzja showed that you should never play this even in a 3-minute blitz game. And also the bishop captures on d7 tactic was quite nice. So first that, then this, and also finishing the game with queen to g7 mate. That was a nice touch. So that's the game. I do hope you enjoyed it. The match finished with 8.5 to 1.5 in Firouzja's favor. If you want to check out the entire match, I will put a link in the description below so you can check it out on Chess24's website. You can even see Firouzja's stream and comment on all of the games from the match if you're interested in that. And this, like I said, these were the quarterfinals. These were the quarterfinals. Firouzja now advances to the semifinals, and there he will face Narayanan, and Carlsen in the semifinals faces Sanan Sugirov, his old nemesis. And then, well, if all goes well for Firouzja, he will meet either Carlsen or Sugirov in the finals of the Banter Blitz Cup. So that's it for the game. A lot of you have been asking me, why are you not receiving notifications from YouTube when I upload a video? I already mentioned this a few months back, but it's because YouTube's resources are, well, they're overloaded, and not everyone can receive a notification in the exact moment that I upload a video. So, for example, maybe when I upload it, maybe 10,000 people will receive it right away, then maybe 10,000 in another hour. I don't know how the algorithm works, but it goes, little by little. Not everyone can receive it right away. But if you're one of those people that really want to see the video as soon as it's uploaded, you're welcome to follow me on Instagram, where I will where I will mention that I've uploaded a video via using the Instagram story. So that's pretty much instantaneous. So if you're using Instagram, you're welcome to check it out. I will just post some random photo of either Medo or myself, and I will just write new video is out, go watch, so that way you can know that it's out there. And the link to the Instagram profile will also be the first thing you see in the description below. So there you have it. I do hope you enjoyed it. I would like to thank Federico Ponti, Alberto Attar, Raj Vinen, Chris Hershey, and Jorge Romero for your contribution to my channel. Thank you a lot. I really appreciate it. As usual, you can check 2 of my previous videos here. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you soon, continuing the Morphe saga, checking up on your wonderful suggestions, and whatever else happens in the chess world. So thank you all. I will see you soon, and have an excellent rest of your day.